Hello everybody, I have got another walkthrough for you here. So this time we're playing the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. And this is going to be a perfect stats guide. I'm also kind of redoing this. At least, I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to redo, but for sure certain videos. I just noticed that while I was listening, I had some audio issues with some of the other videos, and I'm just not really happy with that, which is kind of funny too, because I did a walkthrough of this with my buddy years and years ago, and that was the PlayStation version, and that had just I mean it's the worst audio of all of my videos that I've done. I was using a program to use two microphones, and it was just trash. It ended up being horrible. I still had a lot of fun because my friend and I did the dual commentary on it, and we both just loved the game. It was I think actually, so this one was the first RPG I ever played was Final Fantasy. Technically it was Final Fantasy 3, right? Because it was the Super Nintendo version. But yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun, and it's a very nostalgic game for me. As again, it was literally the first RPG I ever played. So again, I had a lot of fun with that one, but also this one, I was talking to one of my friends that had bought the Pixel Remaster, and he was, he had pointed out some things that they had changed, which then kind of inspired me to try to play again. And there's one aspect to this one that's made like these low level and perfect stats, I suppose, like challenges even better. I guess I would say. Meaning, and what I mean by that is a couple of the characters actually end up getting even better stats than what was previously achievable because of some. My guess is it's an unintended. I don't know if it's a. I suppose maybe you can consider it a bug, because again, I don't think it was an intended thing, and that it revolves around obtaining Shadow. I think technically it's the second time that you get him. You can recruit him in one of the towns, and we'll get into that obviously quite a bit later when it's actually relevant. But again, so my intent not only is actually perfect stats, but also, I want to try to get, basically get everything, 100% this, get all the achievements, and all that. So I'm going to be, making sure to get all of the treasures and all of the different achievements. So also one of the things that I'll do as well is kind of try to manipulate the Velt. I think I'm going to do that quite a bit. And what I mean by that is, for one thing, I kind of want it to be efficient. So if I can get certain packs that have, for instance, multiple enemies in that pack, I'm going to aim for that, and then that should make it so that when we are trying to get Gao's rages, it'll just be a lot more efficient, and we won't have to cycle the Velt so many times. And then on top of that, there's certain fights, for instance, that will just get us a lot more money as well. And that's kind of one of the important things as well for these, or I would say one thing that really helps with these low-level games, because we can't really do the random encounters and finish them, because they will most times give experience, and we want to avoid that altogether. So Velt farming is kind of a pivotal aspect to these sorts of challenges, I guess I would say. And then on top of that, I've because of the way that the Velt actually works in this version of the game, it makes it a fantastic place to farm like certain items. So again, that's one of those things that we'll get into a bit more when it becomes more relevant. But so here's the I would say kind of like the iconic scene of the Magitech armor suits walking towards Narshe. And I love that scene. My only gripe is that they took the credits out, and I don't really understand why they did that. I thought that was a really cool aspect. But, you know, it is what it is. And sometimes they change things, and I'm not so hot about it, but it's all right. All right, so here, now that we've got control of our characters, I like to bump Wedge and Biggs into the back row. I leave Terra, that's Terra, by the way, so that's one of the main characters. I leave Terra out front because I actually want to basically get her knocked out so that she's not absorbing any experience from these battles. Now, just off to the right-hand side to us, don't walk over there. If you do, the guards will send. I can't remember if it's a single Silver Lobo or if it's two after us, and we don't want that. That's unnecessary. We will get our Silver Lobo formation up here. I believe is it next? I think it's next. Oh no, yeah, it is next, technically. Now here though, where the I don't know what these things are. They look like air vents or something to me, right on the ground. The spot where they cross or where they intersect right there is a scripted battle right there. We don't want to take that formation, or I didn't anyway. It's the same deal. They send, basically what happens is they send a pair of Silver Lobos at you, and then right after that there's another battle with two guards. We don't want that double Silver Lobo, or I didn't want that anyway. So what you can do is kind of sneak around that tile on the right hand side, and that allows us to actually skip that. And then that battle right there though is forced, as well as this next one coming up here with the double, what is this, Megalodoth? Let's see here. Yeah, Megalodoth and guard. So yeah, nothing really that we can do about this one, but that's all right. At least we were able to avoid, and that was one of the things that was really bugging me actually about my initial, recent video that I did for this was I didn't even realize that you could sneak past that one scripted fight, and that makes it so that we don't have the double Silver Lobo formation. Now in here, I made sure not to take any encounters here either. I can't remember, but I think there's for sure two formations right in here. One of them is like a 3 were-rat formation, and then the other one I believe is a bandit were-rat formation. And I didn't want to add either of those. For one thing, the were-rat is a default rage that Gao already has, so there's really no reason to take that. The only thing that I would say is if you want to get a full bestiary, what you probably really just want to do is fight one of them and kill it, and then reset your game. By just killing it and finishing the battle successfully, that adds the monster to your bestiary. So again, if you want to do that, I would say definitely do that. But also, if you don't even want to bother with this, manipulating the Velt stuff, I completely understand that, and don't bother. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to at least walk you through or point out some of the formations here that I'm actually kind of passing up. I may come back here later as well to grab the formations that are coming up in a little bit here. I'll try to toss that or point those out as we come across them. Now, this is the first boss battle, and this is the is it Mir? Is it right? Is the Y silent? I don't know. That's my guess. But pretty easy. Make sure that you don't attack the shell. Play it safe. You can kind of take an unnecessary, like if you accidentally attack the shell, it'll respond with a lightning attack, and you can probably survive one. Just, don't try to do too many in a row. But, all right, so here is the Frozen Esper. This is now, we'll find the name of it later is Valagar. They've changed that. That used to be, it was like Tritalk. And, yeah, I don't, it's one of the things that, that they've done here with this game is they've changed names a lot. I actually kind of just realized why they did that in some cases, though. There was a character limit in the, in like the prior, at least for the Super Nintendo version of the game. And so, like, for instance, there's an enemy at one point called the Night Stalker. And that name is was too long for the Super Nintendo version. So they abbreviated it by calling it the PM Stalker, which is kind of a creative way to get around the naming limitations. But that's not the case anymore with these later versions of the game. So they've renamed at least some of those. That's not always the case. Sometimes they name or rename things for I don't, bizarre reasons, I would say. But whatever, it is what it is. But for somebody like me who's played multiple iterations of the game, it gets a little frustrating because it's hard to keep the names straight. But all right, anyways, here we get to name Terra. I'm just gonna go with the default names. I've been trying to do that more in my playthroughs over the years. I just try to. It makes it a lot easier for when I'm trying to explain things. And then also there you can grab the elixir out of the clock. It's not that important. I honestly barely ever use elixirs, but it's something at least that we can get, and that actually does, I believe, count for. There's one of the achievements. I can't remember which one it is. Basically, the treasures, I believe, are split off into two separate achievements. One of them is for the treasure chests themselves, and then one is for the hidden stuff in like pots, for instance. So we'll be trying to, or I'll be grabbing all of those just to make sure that we're getting those achievements completed. So here is the first area where Terra alone can get into some random encounters. Now, normally I cut these out, but this one at least I think, kind of makes sense to grab. I'm not going to keep this. I'm actually going to reset my game after this. But I also did want to show you one of the things that I do here. I actually usually just nuke myself down if I've got the opportunity, because by going, or by basically getting a game over, it eliminates the load time that comes from going into your menu and then reloading your game. Also, did we already pass up the treasure chests, or are they coming up? Let me just see here. And here, also this, I realize this looks crazy, right? We're just constantly saving and reloading. Also cursor, yeah, I think I set the cursor memory. I like for the cursor to remember, the last, or to be saved. Yeah, the chests are coming up here. I'm gonna pass these up on the initial trip. These chests are not, missable. These will be obtainable later. And if you don't grab the contents right now, they actually upgrade in the second part of the game. So again, and they honestly, these two don't really upgrade into anything that's super fantastic, but I actually wanted to at least point that out because even the base items aren't that great, but at least if you let them upgrade, they're a little bit better. So that was what I'm doing there. So again, that'll be something that we'll get later on in the game, but it's not something that we need to worry about right now. Again, I'll try to point out anything that's missable, and obviously I will make sure to grab anything that is permanently missable. But again, these chests are not one of them. So again, what I'm doing here also though is in order to avoid these encounters, and this wasn't really doable in other iterations of the game. I back up. I should back up. I don't know like let's just say the Game Boy Advance, I don't know if you could manipulate saves quite in this way. Like, I don't know if there was a quick save function, but the great thing about that again is that it actually makes it so that you literally don't need to take any random encounters ever. Again, the amount of work that goes into that is pretty intense, as you or maybe it's already obvious, but I'm really trying to keep my Velt packs efficient. So there Terra falls down I don't know into the lower part of this cave, and this I don't know if she's having if this is a dream or if this is just supposed to be one of her memories. I'm not sure what they were, or what was. Yeah, I mean, she probably passed out, right? And this is sort of a dream. That I don't know. Is that coming? Is that a memory of hers that she's now, after having the slave crown removed? Is she remembering that happened? I'm not sure, but. Either way, it does show her there, and this is pretty, I guess, illustrative of Kefka and his monstrosity. The guy's he's absolutely crazy. And if you notice there, those were actual Imperial troops, and she was destroying them. So she was literally killing her own troops because she was being controlled by Kefka, who. Yeah, is a crazy person. So, fantastic villain, one of the most iconic villains, I would say, of the Final Fantasy series. That laugh is just, it's hilarious. But yeah, all right. Anyway, so here's Locke. I actually really like Locke for a few different reasons. Namely, he can steal. Generally, in the RPGs that I play, I like to, take advantage of, or like if anybody can steal, I'll try to do that. There's some good items that can be stolen in this game, but also because he's extremely fast, and it may not seem that important, but I think one of the cooler things that I've noticed, and I don't know how many other iterations of the game that this was true for, but it seems to me like this one, when you select an item in battle, it seems to like prioritize it really quickly. And so, being able to, and honestly, so what I actually end up doing a lot of the time with Locke is not only stealing, but also using a lot of items in combat. And because Locke is so fast, you'll be able to use items really, really quickly in battle. So I really like that. I think that he's a great character, and yeah, I'll be using him a lot. Like I'm surprised at how often I actually put him in my parties. Now, if you notice there, I grabbed Mog's spear and his shield. Definitely do that because we'll get Mog later, but he is really only usable here for. Technically, I did not use him at all, which also was one of the things that I changed here in this video as compared to the original video that I did here. Was there's these monsters here, when you get into battle with them, it is always like a single silver lobo and a single, what is that thing called again? Megalodoth. And that formation is redundant now. We've already run into both of those monsters, so there's no need to take any of these. So again, what I kind of do here is let them walk by in some cases, and then we'll go around others, and that'll just get us right here to the boss, and we'll finish off the boss. Now here also very important, move all of your characters into the back row. The first three actually will do less damage because they are using like traditional melee weapons, but Cosmog there down in the bottom is using a boomerang, which has the same damage in the back row. So definitely do that. So in obviously or maybe it's not obvious, but moving your characters into the back row makes it so that they take less damage. So generally speaking, my characters will be oftentimes in the back row. That's not always the case. There's actually certain areas in the game where if I'm trying to avoid all of the random encounters, what I'll actually do is put everybody in the front row, because it's faster to actually have your group wipe than it is to run from a battle and then reload your game. So you'll probably see that, and I'll try to point that out when I actually do that. But anyways, that is it. Again, you kind of just ninja your way through the monsters there and take out the boss, and it makes that extremely fast. I think again, in my first video there, I didn't really realize it, but I ended up taking or blowing a lot of time in that little spot. And it's just completely unnecessary, and unfortunately those Megalodoths are really obnoxious when you face them on the veldt, especially in a low-level game, because we are running around with very, very little health, and those mammoths can basically take you down, I don't know, probably a third of your health in one ability, and they do it basically immediately every time. So again, very obnoxious, and I just was like, we're gonna completely avoid that because that formation is unnecessary. So all right, anyways, here we're coming up on the beginner, or what is this, like the adventurers like tutorial area, I guess it is. They explain a lot of the different game mechanics in here. And so anyways, here up in the upper right hand corner is the ether. The upper left hand corner there, that's a silver lobo. I don't know if it's a single or if it's a double, but either way, we don't need to grab that yet. I am going to, and actually we don't want to, because you can't run away from that battle either. So I'm going to wait until probably the end of the game. I think the last time I played, I literally made that the very last treasure chest I opened. And it does, excuse me, it never disappears, so you don't have to worry about ever losing it. It's never missable, so don't worry about that. But all right, we are at the very end of this one, so I hope that this guide was helpful, and I hope that I actually did a good job of explaining what I'm doing and why. And we'll keep knocking these out. So as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.